What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get into a subject that I'm most fascinated about. I want to do a little something different for the channel. Let's watch Joe Rogan and Arron Rogers talk about the pyramids in Egypt.
Was this the pad that Zahi was using right here? This one?
Maybe. That might have been the worst podcast I've ever done, but maybe a good one too.
So just to put some context, Joe Rogan recently interviewed Dr. Zahi, and he's supposed to be the expert in Egypt and kind of controls all the archaeology, what comes in, what comes out, what gets studied. Never open to anything new. So that was the reason the laugh was for. It was a pretty terrible podcast.
Just to see, okay, this is the guy, this closed-minded fellow that's been in charge of gatekeeping all the knowledge about
And
Egypt.
still standing on the same ideas, even after this LiDAR comes out.
The tomography, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
That stuff's fascinating. Because I've been, even after that podcast, I've been watching more videos for those Italian scientists describing it. They've used it to, this is one of the things that I brought up. One of the temples that they scanned with this was very accurate. And he's like, but this was only 50 feet down. Like, yeah, okay, right, but it works. Like, at 50 feet down, you get an accurate representation of what's inside there, and he was the one, Zahi, supposedly, discovered it. But he's discovered everything, basically.
Yeah.
So how do you...
Genius.
He's the best. So
But the good thing is that Graham can go back to Egypt now.
Yeah, well, that was one of the reasons why Zahi came on.
Oh, really?
Because Graham talked to Zahi, and like, Zahi wants to do this. We're friends now. I was like...
So if you've never been to Egypt or Cairo is sorry to all those people who live in Cairo or from there. It's not the most beautiful city. It's kind of a, kind of a hole, if you know what I mean. And the thing that's worth for me when I went to visit is check out the pyramids and the museum. And I think it's worth checking out. But when you go there, you realize that it generates so much money. And it makes sense why Dr. Zahi maybe was placed there to control the narrative, to make sure that they have full access and they control the narrative, they control the money, they control the tourism. So there's a big incentive to keep this mindset of like these same ideas. The Egyptian built it, they put so many stones and they obviously did it, but it's still a mystery in how they built these magnificent pieces of archaeology.
Bring him in. Let's go. Bring him in. I'll talk to him. I thought it would probably...
Did he invite you to Egypt?
Yeah.
And what'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If I'm going with Graham.
Yeah. I
Or Jimmy
told Graham.
Corsetti.
I told Graham I wanted him to take me a few years ago. He said, I can't go. They'll kill me. So next thing you know, I see Graham's taking people to Egypt. I said, what the fuck?
Well, that's nice. It's nice that they patched it up.
I went there last July.
Did you?
June.
How was it?
Incredible. Yeah, it was incredible.
Did you walk away thinking immediately, there's a lot we don't know?
100%. Yeah. And what they tell you is complete bullshit.
Yeah. I have a friend who went there, and the archaeologist that showed him it said, this is complete bullshit. Like, the narrative is complete bullshit. Yeah. He said, the scale of it, he said the scale of it and the technology involved in construction is beyond our current understanding of how to do this.
So when you go to Egypt, this is what you realize. When I went to Cairo and Luxor, when you really get there, you see how huge these things are. You see these huge rocks and the precision. And yeah, we've all watched Ancient Aliens, the History Channel, everything. And it's impressive, all the information. But when you actually get there, the enormity of it is just absolutely impressive. It's just hard to believe that Egyptians 2,000 years ago pushed these blocks, these tons, and put them in a precise way to make these magnificent structures. It's hard to believe, especially when you see it with your own eyes.
And it's not just the pyramids and the Sphinx. No. The other temples are magnificent.
Not only that, there's probably a bunch of shit under the ground.
I know. That's what I wanted to go see. But the cool thing was the first temple I went in was what I'd seen on Ancient Aliens, where at the very top of the temple, you have one of the most famous hieroglyphs, which has a spaceship, a helicopter, and a submarine up there. As clear as you can possibly imagine. And
show that.
What the fuck is that? How in the... What is that? Explain that, please. Because that looks like a spaceship, that looks like a submarine, and that 100% looks like a helicopter.
So weird. Egypt is the weirdest place on earth. It
Yeah.
really is. Because
But that's why it needs to be.
Yeah.
What the hell's underneath it?
Well, I think that one.
That one right there?
Yeah. I mean,
what are we talking about?
Come on. That's so crazy.
That's a spaceship or a fighter jet.
some kind of a.
That's a submarine.
It looks like a yacht. It looks
Or-
like one of them
it's a
oligarch
boat,
yachts
yeah.
that they keep getting.
But that's
Impounded.
that's a helicopter.
It looks like a
Come on,
helicopter to
what are we
me.
doing?
It looks just like a helicopter.
Yeah, that was the first
if it's
place I
not a helicopter, what a goddamn
What is it?
coincidence.
Yeah.
And, there's a bunch of weird stuff there. A bunch of weird images. And how about that one plane that they found that was inside? They found like a wooden plane
Yep.
that was inside one of the chambers.
Yeah, totally normal.
Yeah.
They just buried there with the.
What's fascinating about Egypt is that when you go and see these huge structures, and there is a lot of hieroglyphics that they don't show on TV, the precision, the artistry of it, obviously there's a lot the Egyptians they can confirm that they did, but there's a lot of things that didn't. I think I was equally as impressed with Luxor. If you have never seen it, look it up. I mean, these things they have these stone pillars that are towering up, some 4 or 5 stories large or tall. It's just so impressive that they built it, and it's just still a mystery to this day. And I think it's worth discussing. And I think Dr. Zahi with Joe Rogan kind of blew it to kind of open it up. But again, it's controlled. People don't really want other narratives because it's a big touristic moneymaker for them.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that Zahi was unwilling to entertain was this King's List. This Zepteki King's List that goes back 30,000 plus years.
Yes.
They all want to pretend that that's a myth, that all the other hieroglyphs are legitimately documenting the history of the region. But when it
But not
gets
that one.
past the narrative, these 30,000-year-old kings, that place has probably been there for a long fucking time,
Yeah, probably hundreds of thousands of years.
which is so crazy.
And it's probably built on other stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing about the base of the pyramids. Is like you have to realize like there's a base there. Before they put the pyramids up, they put this insane base. And if what they're saying is accurate with these readings, that there's a structure that goes under the ground 2 kilometers, like
Yeah, what is that?
if they can find that, then you have to throw everything out the window.
But aren't you with me?
So, if you're not familiar, I think 2 months ago, these Italian scientists did some imagery or some radar imagery, and they saw some sort of coil structures go down into the earth from the pyramids. There's a lot of speculation, but apparently the science is there. They're going to come out with more science next year. But this is if it ends up becoming true, which I don't know. It almost seems like something this huge. There always something happens. It would change the whole narrative. It would change everything that we know about the history of the Egyptians.
Like, why are we not interested in that?
Well, we are.
But why is modern archaeology not going, yeah, let's fucking figure this shit out?
Because modern archaeology forever has been saying that we have the answers, that we have the timeline. We know when Khufu built this. We know when Khafre built this. We know who did this. And they're not correct. It's not accurate. It's too weird. There's no way you have all the information. Also, where'd everybody go? Like, there's people living there, but it's clearly not the same civilization. So what happened to this insane civilization? If there wasn't a collapse of society at an immense level, if there wasn't some sort of a civilization-destroying event,
Yeah.
then where
Younger
did
Dryas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going back to what I told you, I think that's the purpose of Dr. Zahi, to control the narrative. We don't want that to escape the control of the Egyptians, and the archaeologists feed into it, because if they're all on the same page, well, we're the experts. We're going to tell you how the narrative is, and there's a huge money thing to it too, as well, and also reputation. Imagine if these Italians, come and from Italy come to Egypt and they prove Dr. Zahi and all the Egyptian government about the history of Egypt, and how would they look? And they would lose control. They would lose narrative, and it wouldn't be no longer the history of Egypt, but a history of the world.
What happened?
How about this idea? We got a new pope.
Mm-hmm.
He's from the States.
From Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's open up the Library of the Vatican.
Good luck. Good luck doing that.
Well, you know, I think I wanted to share that. I wanted to give something different than some of my interest in this channel. It's still small enough to do some pivots. But I'll see if you enjoyed the content, you know, comment and let me know if you think, you know, Egyptians built the pyramids, or do you think something else built it? I really appreciate you jumping onto the channel. Remember, ego isn't your amigo.